Hey, good morning, everyone. You are with Tom from Ludicrous Feed on this beautiful Saturday morning, looking outside my window on the 16th of September, 2023. Welcome to our Saturday show indeed. I just want to quickly shout out to our sponsors this morning. That is Warbox and also Carloop. Thank you very much to both companies for supporting our Ludicrous Feed live on a Saturday morning. All right, well, let's say hello to our regular guest, as always, Mr. Riz Akhtar from Carloop, and also The Driven. Hello, Riz. How are you this fine Saturday morning?
Yeah, going well, Tom. It's all happening. The weather's warming up here in Melbourne. I was in Sydney, I think on Thursday, and I think I brought some of the weather back, which usually doesn't happen. So yeah, excited to be here, and there's lots for us to talk about.
Yeah, no, we're very happy to export some of that sunshine down to Victoria. And yeah, today apparently it's going to be 30 plus degrees Celsius in Sydney. So I'm looking forward to finally donning my shorts and getting out there and enjoying some of that vitamin D. Riz, did you enjoy the BYD Megastore launch in Sydney on Thursday?
Yeah, it was quite good. I think, to be honest, it's probably one of the first type of stores that we've seen that has the variety of different electric vehicle technologies and the number of EVs on display from the same brand. We've had, the Tesla stores across Australia. They do a pretty good job of showcasing what's underneath their vehicles, but I think this store elevates that a little bit further with multiple models and other things. So yeah, I saw your video as well. Pretty good the way they've sort of set it all up on that that special opening night they had, and I think today they opened to the public this morning.
That's right. So if you're in Sydney this morning, go and check them out. It's a pretty impressive showroom, I got to say. I was expecting big things, but to actually see it in person, I was super impressed. And as you like, right, Riz, I don't think I've seen anything of this variety before in Australia, at least not in Sydney anyway, where it's not really like a traditional dealership. Like there's no pressure when you walk in. It's kind of an experience center, almost like one of those. I don't know, or not. I wouldn't say museum, but like somewhere you can sort of interact with the products. Like see these robots here, and the cars you can just sort of go in and touch them and open them and stuff. I'm not sure if the beautiful people will be there, but there'll be other beautiful people too from the general public to interact with too, and the staff will be very friendly, I'm sure, from BYD. So yeah, go check them out today. As Riz said, they are open to the general public. So
So
thanks.
that's in Alexandria, Tom. And one quick question for you. You've been to the Peterson Museum, where you got to see some of the Tesla products. How would you compare that to this? And you've done a video on that as well. So anyone that's interested, check that out.
Yeah, so the Peterson Museum is, I guess, that's sort of obviously more focused on Tesla, whereas this is obviously focused on BYD, and there's the seal right there. I'm sure that'll be there too today. But yeah, it's that one's kind of more, it's sort of showcasing the history of EVs for that little EV section, whereas this is just obviously showcasing BYD and what products are available. So I guess in some respects, yes, it's kind of more museum-y type of a showroom rather than a traditional dealership. So yes, there are some similarities that can be drawn. There are snacks for purchase, I'm sure. There's a BYD cafe outside. And for those who are looking to go, there's plenty of parking as well, above ground and underground. And I'm not being paid by BYD to say this. I'm actually genuinely impressed by the showroom at Alexandria. So go check them out for yourselves today. All right, so let's move on with today's show. So let's say hello to some of our regular audience members. And of course, if you're watching us live, come drop us a comment in the live chat. If you're listening to us on replay and watching on replay, drop a comment as well. And if you're listening to us on audio podcast, hello and welcome. Thanks for having us in your car today. All right, let's say hello to our guests. So we've got Gaffer. Hey, Gaffer, nice to see you. We've got Abby on. Jerry's saying it's sunny in Adelaide. That's good. And H2 is saying it's hot in Tincabbie. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be out there in Western Sydney. Jim is saying, good morning, boys, from windy Tasmania. Robin Jules from Brisbane. Simon from the UK. Hello, Simon. Thanks for joining us. Tassie Evie from a wet Hobart. Bulldogs, hello. And Mark saying, beautiful Saturday spring morning here in Melbourne. Riz, looking forward to a radiant show. So that's good. And Riz has got a fan there saying hello from Bulldogs.
Hey, Bulldogs.
Alan's saying hello from Port Stephens, 18 degrees. That's pretty good. It's about what we are in Sydney at the moment. And he's got the new update for Tesla Model 3Y as well, 32.4. That's good. JD saying good morning, crew. And Neil's got delivery day for him, Alexandria. Fantastic. Congratulations, Neil. Well done. Aussie Adventure saying Redcliffe morning, hello. And yes, exciting for Neil. A couple of people saying congratulations too. Thomas is saying couldn't be at the BYD event. That's okay. Today is open, so go and check it out. Joke from Jeremy. I love these jokes. Doctor, is my EV all right? It seems to be a lot faster than other cars. Doctor, I think I've just the thing for this, a dose of static electricity. Boom, tish. I love it. Keep those day jokes coming. Rob and Jules saying we were in Adelaide yesterday and Jules got to the pink version of the new Dolphin at the BYD store. Awesome. And JYL saying first time joining live. Hello. Thanks for joining us. And a few people loved the BYD launch video. That's great to hear. And okay. So as you enter the Megastore, you'll see the right Atto 3 on the right and Jules's pink Dolphin. Very good. Nick's saying, I love that there will be plenty of people going to experience EVs for the first time, like the person in your video. Yes, that was my good friend Amir, who was very kind enough to be interviewed on the video, because that was his first time sitting in the Atto 3. So, yeah, a lot of people still haven't experienced an EV, by the way. Riz and I live in this little bubble where we're all in on EVs, but there's still a lot of people who don't know what an EV is or what it's about. So, yeah, just be kind to people who ask you questions for the first time. Paul saying good morning, and he's saying Canberra is 2 seasons, frozen and on fire. Well, hopefully not on fire this year, Paul. Hopefully this is figurative. Cool. Okay. And Greg's asked, hi, Greg, nice to see you. Anyone or pre-order an Ioniq 5N this week? Yes, that was live this week. What's the Riz?
It was yesterday, I think. It came and went. I didn't even... I had my broker ordering a couple of them, so yeah, I didn't hear back from him. So I must have gotten all of them.
Riz, you're selling, you're buying it all again, not leaving any for the rest of us. But this looks pretty amazing. Like, I wouldn't mind if they loaned me a press car to dash around the track on this one. It's pretty good.
Now, for those that are interested and in and around Melbourne next weekend for the EV show, there may be one on display.
Oh, okay. Speaking of the Melbourne show, I will actually be there on Friday. Just you heard it here first. Riz is going to be kindly picking me up from the airport, but I'll be there. If you're going to be there on Friday, I'll be there between, I don't know, sort of 9 and lunchtime. So come and say good day. If you see me and Riz, we'll be very happy to chat to you. I'll actually be there as guests of Hankook Tires. They're very kindly flying me down for the day. So thank you, Hankook, if you're listening to the stream today. Cool. Riz, this car, I must say, I forgot what the price was, but it looks, pretty amazing. I probably the first kind of race type EV on the market.
I think so. I mean, look, the performance figures and other things don't match with the Model 3 performance to a certain degree, or potentially the Taycan, but I guess it's different. It's got a bigger battery pack than the standard Ioniq 5. They've done quite a bit of, work to it to make it more performance orientated. And for those that are not aware, Hyundai started their N division with ICE vehicles 8 years ago after they hired the head of M Performance or ex-head of M Performance from BMW. I think his name is Alex Bierman. And this, is one of those vehicles that has come off the back of, some sort of a sporting category. But I guess we will see. But at that, as Greg says, 120K, it's for that you can buy Model 3 long range, Highland Edition, and BYD Dolphin. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for this vehicle. I mean, yeah, look, it's very sporty, as we've touched on, 84 kilowatt hour battery. And I think you'd probably get that for the performance rather than the actual range itself. 21-inch wheels, wow. Pirelli P0, rapid charging with the 800 volt architecture, 300 kilowatts of power in the rear motors. Yeah, so you'd really want to hit the track on this one rather than do a long drive, I suppose, which you probably could do with the battery pack. But yeah, it looks an amazing bit of kit. Look at that. That's pretty cool. The usual EGMP buttons and dual screens. So yeah, looking forward to testing this one, Riz. Hopefully Hyundai will lend us one of these in the next few months.
Yeah, and the other bit of news at the Melbourne EV show, they will also have I think, with one of the first Kona electrics there as well on show, also on display. So anyone that's heading down, the timing of the show seems a bit strange because school holidays and a whole lot of other things. But I guess anyone that can make it, do check it out. They do have a couple of new vehicles we haven't seen, and I might have mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the Abarth Scorpirisma may also be making an appearance.
Cool. That's why we attend these EV shows, to see EVs, right? So hopefully this will be kind of the benchmark for future EV shows to come, where we just want to see the cars. So OEMs, hopefully they'll just be attracted to this kind of stuff. Yeah, so I better charge my camera batteries and get filming for you guys if you can't make it to the show for whatever reason. All right, let's say hello to some more guests on the show. We've got, Tassie EV1 saying, story in the driven. Seems New South Wales has fallen to the fossil fuel lobbyists, New South Wales to scrap rebates and stamp duty exemptions. Is this to come, or is it confirmed now, Riz? Let me just look at the story.
Yeah, I'm not too sure actually. I know there was discussions of potentially scrapping it,
Hmm.
but maybe that movement is building. Maybe they really are thinking about this.
Yeah, let's have a look at the story. This was actually only released 29 minutes ago, according to Google. This picture of the BYD store. Yeah, New South Wales scraps EV rebates and stamp duty exemptions to impose road tax from 2027. Let's see. And January 1, 2024. Dang, just before my Model 3 Highland to come. What a shame. Oh, they fell in Victoria, Riz,
Oh,
unfortunately. So yeah, the stamp duty rebate is going as well. $78,000 gone, $3,000 rebate gone, and that's way before the quota as well. Last time I checked, it was only like a quarter filled. So interesting decision. I mean, are we all running out of money? Victoria's not the only one.
it's yeah, I guess the impact would be interesting to see. Um, Meanwhile, the word on the street is, so you heard it here first again on Ludicrous Feed, is that there is quite a lot of stock around, um, for brands that have just opened a mega store. So anyone that interested in buying one can go into one of their experience centers and can pick one up fairly quickly because there's just every color and everything available already of the model
Hmm.
that they have here. So just worth keeping an eye out on. So there may be supply is not an issue. Demand may be an issue. We saw BYD sales slow down a little bit in August. But across the different states, I guess the premiers and others think that there is no reason to stimulate that anymore. But the only challenge is federally, we apart from the FPT exemptions, we don't really have anything else to drive this, and the fuel emission standards are still, who knows, months if not years away.
Hmm. Now, Riz, just postulating here, with the rebates going in the two largest states in Australia, will that spur uh, sales for the next few months while people try to get in under this deadline? Do you think?
I think a lot of it, Tom, is awareness, and I don't think people are aware. So, us, as you mentioned earlier, sometimes everyone, tuning in and they'll watch it on replays, a little bit in that bubble where we know what's going on, and there's a lot of incentives available. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the real people too that will see the impact on this, apart from obviously everyday drivers, are the car manufacturers. So think about Hyundai, for example. They're going to launch their Kona Electric. If they launch the Kona Electric at the same price as the previous generation Kona, they will really struggle to move them because there's so many other options that people have now, like the Atto 3 and the new MG ZS and Kia e-Niro and the rest. If government removes these subsidies, then in order for people obviously can't pay $65,000 for a car. They were expecting the government rebate, so they were going to pay 62,000. The manufacturers will have to make that up. So either they will offer a $3,000 discount on their Kona Electric, as an example, or they will offer other incentives to encourage sort of that uptake. So Tesla has many levers. They can say offer free supercharging. They can offer a referral program. They can offer so many little things that other OEMs and manufacturers can't. So the real people that will be pulling money out of their pocket to get them to sell more cars will be the traditional and legacy OEMs.
Yeah, great point there is, and we've seen Polestar actually do that in house in the past. I think they've offered a $5,000 discount or something for a new Polestar. So you're right, there are lots of things the other OEMs can do, and this might actually even decrease the price in the next few months. So I wonder whether BYD knew this was going to happen, hence why they didn't release the seal price on Thursday. They know this rebate is dropping in New South Wales, probably their biggest market. So yeah, again, the seal is the price point is the key, isn't it, Riz? Where will that sit? Will that sit between the Model 3 and the Atto 3, or is it more expensive? My hunch is saying they're probably going to release the performance first.
I think so, Tom. And the other interesting point about the seal is they are already positioning the product as a performance product. Given what we've just seen with Ioniq 5 and how that's performance, and you're paying, what is it, nearly $30,000 more than the standard one. In this market, for a brand that is not very well known, like Tesla is in the electric vehicle space, you can't ask for, like, even the 3.8S, which is the top of the range, 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds seal. I can't see a lot of people, apart from the early adopters, paying more than 90 grand. It has to sit somewhere in between a Model 3 Performance and a Model 3 Long Range at best. Otherwise, Model 3 Long Range will be a better value proposition. And not that everyone wants that Tesla feel. We talk about it all the time.
Yep.
But if they want an ongoing set of customers, apart from just real early adopters, they will have to price it right.
Yep. No, good point. You're right. Not everybody wants a Tesla, and sitting in the seal, like it really does feel quite plush, quite premium. If not everybody wants that minimalistic look. The seal feels like, I guess, a traditional kind of sports car. You've got the dials buttons, the doors feel very firm. It's not full glass; it's like a body as well. So, yeah, I think it'll be attractive to a lot of people, not just early adopters. So, good luck to them. And you're right. I think that sub performance Model 3 is a good sweet spot for the seal to be launched at. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll keep you guys informed as to when the seal will drop its price. I think probably October. I heard when we were there, they announced it sort of October when that's coming out. So stay tuned. All right, let's take some more comments. And yeah, Riz, any news on Hyundai launch of Kona EV? I think we kind of touched on that earlier. Q4 probably, right, Riz, at this stage?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And hello, James. Good morning. New charging site, Healesville, sorry. 50 kilowatt went live this week. That's great. Where's Healesville?
It's
Riz?
Yarra Ranges, so it's sort of the winery region, one of the winery regions in Victoria, east of Melbourne. Relatively easily accessible if you wanted to do a day trip out that way. So yeah, that's good, James. There isn't a lot out there, and obviously James Downs, he's been on the stream before. He knows what's going on in charges in Victoria. So good to hear.
Correct. Yeah. Thanks for your input, James. Keep them coming. Comments on the on the EV rebates in New South Wales. A little early in the EV take-up curve to stop rebates, in my opinion. Then again, I kind of expected the rebates to really be all subscribed by now, but as I said to you earlier, it's only sort of 1/3 at the moment. So I guess they're seeing not a need for it to be pushed, given that we've got so many EVs in the country. So maybe that's their thinking.
I think the other point worth noting is, that High Court case that's still going on at the moment. The some decisions to be made before the end of this year. And some of these governments at the moment are looking at it and thinking, well, if we have incentives that sort of go against what Victoria is offering or not offering, then it could put us in a really interesting spot as well. So I don't know how much of it is political versus whether it's right. And then on the other hand, if we look at what's happening in the US, they're just ramping these up.
That's right. We're kind of going against what's happening around the world, isn't it? So I don't know. It's a funny times, I've got to say. Okay, so Robin Jules saying we've got a green Uber in Adelaide and got an Atto 3. Didn't see many Teslas in Adelaide. I've tried to catch an Uber Green a couple of times, and all I've ever got was a Camry hybrid. So yet to get a full EV in Sydney anyway. So looking forward to the next one I get. Polestar offers finance at under 3%. Wow, that's incredible at this day and age. Pretty good. Good point. I wonder how many N lines will sell with that price tag. That will sell. Some people will want them. Okay, so Greg Wilson, will New South Wales drivers have to pay on roads out of New South Wales like Victoria drivers in 2027 with the road user charge? I'm hoping that we'll have a better tracking system. I don't know, rather than just taking a photo of your odometer, which is kind of archaic, I think. Anyway, we'll see. Do they think the ability to novate lease is enough of an incentive? Well, I showed you in my video, it's a pretty good discount over 3 years, so maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
I think just on that one area we're not looking at the moment is accessibility of EVs for low income earners. So novated lease, it's the leasing, there's lots of good incentives on available, but for those people that are, let's say, on low incomes, there is no real incentives or leasing schemes or interest-free loans, even if it's partial amount, right? So let's say a BYD Dolphin costs $40,000. Those on low income, if they can get a $20,000 no interest loan, and maybe there is a way where their monthly repayments on that vehicle can be a lot lower, because without leasing, or those people may not have the opportunity to lease a vehicle like that. I think we need to play a bit more in that lower people with lower incomes, socioeconomic backgrounds, allow accessibility to EVs and better technology for them as well, because ultimately they will benefit from the lower running costs as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and back on the novated lease point too, the higher income is, the better the saving is, because then you're in that higher marginal tax bracket and you get a better saving, obviously. Obviously, we want to make sure that people of lower socioeconomic status can afford the loan as well. We don't want to burden them with a huge loan over time. That's not good for anybody. But you're right, Riz, some sort of partial funding for maybe means tested initially anyway to get people into EVs. Good point. Jerry says, without the rebate, it makes BYD MG even more value. Yes, better expensive legacy auto and have to cut prices. Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, I think probably the expensive stuff can probably afford to cut their prices more than the cheaper stuff, or at least the more value ones. The MG4, BYD Atto 3, or a Cat, which I had this week. That video is dropping too, by the way. These, at least we've got 3 reasonable options now on that lower price market too. It's good. Okay, cool. Let's move on to one of our stories, Riz, for today on Happier Times. This is the 50,000th Tesla supercharger store in North America. Let me just blow up this photo for you. There you go. Look at that red. That's absolutely incredible. Is that the same color red you'll be getting for your Highland Model 3?
It is. And what's interesting, Tom, Tesla did a really cool thing with this 50,000th supercharger. So I think on their official X page, they put out a bit of a challenge for the Tesla community. And they took a photo of that charger with what's this red called? Like deep red, ultra red?
Cherry red? No, ultra red for the Model 3?
Yes, I know. I think it's ultra red.
Yes.
So they took a photo of an ultra red Model S charging right next to this ultra red charger, and they said, "Where do you think this is?" or something along those lines. And this gentleman's found it, and
that's cool. So this is apparently in Freedom Way, Roseville, California, in the US. So this guy found it. It's just a standard version 3 to 50 kilowatt charger, but man, that red looks absolutely incredible. Obviously with the NACS port, that looks like a Model X, doesn't it? That these got plugged in.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. I don't know. We should have something similar in Australia. Like, what are we up to? How many plugs are we up to in Australia?
Last time I checked, it was 354 or something. Maybe when they get to 500.
500, yeah. 500, maybe a stealth gray uh,
Oh yeah,
uh,
the new model.
supercharger plug. Yeah. Anyway, that's cool. I'm glad Tesla's got nice little contests like that, or at least incentives to find that plug. So congratulations, that's good. The more plugs, the merrier. Obviously, now that 30 or at least almost half the supercharger plugs or stalls are open to non-Tesla EVs in Australia, I'm sure we're all rooting for more supercharger stalls across our country. We help everybody get to where they need to faster. Oh, okay. So sorry, Riz, I'll just put this up. You showed me this one on the private chat. Here we go. So there it is, somewhere in the world, isn't it? That's the Tesla charging account.
With that Model S
Yeah.
plaid in that ultra red.
So that's what they look like normally, and that's the special one. Nice. Number 50,000, little plate there, little plaque. That's cool. Nice. All right. Let's move on to some comments here. We've got Simon, who is joining us from the UK today. Took the borrowed MG4 on a trip to Wales today using GridServe VFast chargers. Oh, so easy with credit card payment. How good's that? No Apple RFID cards needed. What we should be doing in Oz, 100%. But very expensive, 69 pence per kilowatt hour, which is about $1.30, $1.40 at this stage. Yeah, Riz, that's the way to go, right? We've got James in the chat here, James Down, so maybe he can help us out. We need more tap and go kind of things at the moment.
And some chargers have the hardware. From what I can see, some of the BP sites have the actual credit card reading hardware. When it gets activated, not too sure. But yeah, we do need that. And there's some moves being made, and we're not too sure what it actually means, like the Charge Fox being the New South Wales government's official charging partner or whatever that announcement was. And NRMA obviously launching their national network. Can we confirm if that Mudgee site that has opened as the first site has tap and go type of features?
Yeah, we'll have to find someone to get out there and show it for us. That'd be good. I didn't see it when I first looked at it. I mean, they all have that capability, right? The technology's there. Just as you said, the software update just needs to happen. Speaking of a new site, I just want to quickly put this up, which I came across this week. This is a story from TechAU, from Jason Cartwright, who runs that platform. So, new Albury servo to host one of the biggest EV charging hubs in Australia, featuring 28 EV charging stations. This is BP Pulse. So, for those who don't know, Albury Wodonga is on the border, or Albury in New South Wales, Wodonga in Victoria, on the border between New South Wales and Victoria. A very important place to have lots of EV chargers. Not that many at the moment, which is surprising, but apparently BP has lodged an application, I think, to have this developed, and they will have 28 EV charging stalls, 48 fuel bays, 6 specialized bays for big trucks, and I think this might be a typo, but I think there might be 213-meter frontage along the Hume Highway. I think 213 kilometers is quite big. But that's quite a big site as well. So that's what the address is, preliminary planning along the Hume Highway. And that's what it apparently is going to look like. So that's pretty cool. Good to see Ampol and BP, jostling for the gold standard for EV charging at the moment. Let's just put these up. So these are the plans for the chargers. They look pretty funky. This is the kind of stuff we dreamed of about a year ago, Riz.
Oh, that's it. Any word on when they're sort of expecting this to be completed, or at least first stage rolled out?
Yeah, let's have a look. It just says from September 2023 to current, but there's no indication in this article anyway as to when it's going to be completed. So I don't know, give it 6 months maybe.
Yeah, six to 12 months. That's really interesting. The amount of power they'll need to power that site especially if they're ultra rapid and rapid chargers. Still great to see. I think Greg has a question asking sort of around what sort of charging infrastructure the petrol stations are rolling out, and that's it would be interesting to see. I think BP has rolled out a few more sites in the last couple of weeks, and I know BP's rollout is continuing.
Mm.
So, the word on the street is that there is more sites that they have chosen and more partners to deliver those sites as well. So, it'll be quite interesting to see what this looks like. But it seems to be they're moving a lot faster than Ampol.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the current gold standard for like a charging hub like this is the Pheasant's Nest site in New South Wales by
Mm.
Ampol. And you're kind of there on average, say 30 minutes if you're going to charge an EV. I think there's probably enough in there to keep you entertained, particularly with if you've got young kids. There's like a playground, there's like food, drink, lots of options, coffee, donuts. So if BP can do something similar, then you may not necessarily need to find something else to do if you're on a road trip, just want to get out of there, right, and go somewhere else. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Tassie EV1, good point. Hopefully, all roof space is covered in solar panels to help offset some of the electricity. I would think so, right? Surely the opportunity is right there, open space. Another question from Greg: is there any update to the EV rollouts from petrol stations, e.g., Ampol, BP? Have they been rolling out more? Are they in a sit and wait mode? We kind of touched on that, didn't we, Riz? They are slowly getting them out there.
Yeah, BP in particular, I think, is moving a lot quicker, and we've seen that in the rollout so far.
Yep.
Last time I checked, BP Pulse has 36 sites that are now opened,
Mm.
and more to come. And I think Amp Charge or Ampol is still sitting at only about 18. So BP is, doubling the rate of their sites so far that are commissioned, ready to go, compared to what Ampol is. But I know there's a lot of it's hard to tell sometimes how much of it is greenwashing versus actually doing it. But I think this is healthy competition between BP and Ampol to, you know, let's say, get the ball rolling and get more of these sites on the road for EV drivers.
Yeah, no, it's only good for us, right? It just makes it safer for us to take these road trips. The more the merrier, and you can't complain if you're an ICE driver because you've got petrol pumps there anyway. So leave us alone. We'll sit in the corner and try and charge and do our own thing, and we'll get on our way. So all good
And,
things.
and just one quick thing. I think a site like this, I know it's maybe just the timing, but Tesla has just opened, 30 of their sites. How good is that? Like, and we've seen a few people charging different EVs there already, and it's beneficial for all EV drivers. So the more the merrier, and if a little bit of competition means BP can roll out these sort of sites and NRMA can finally get an app going and charge people so people are not camping, then it's only good. I guess Tesla's making all the moves to make it all happen.
That's right. And look how far we've come in the last 12 months. There's so many more charging options now. So all good things to come in 2024 and beyond. So I'm very happy anyway. All right, at this point, I just want to quickly thank you again to our sponsors for this Saturday morning stream, Warbox and Carloop. Thank you so much. And good to see we've got good companies supporting our stream too. So thank you very much. All right, let's take another comment. And Gaffer's asking how long before my internet connectivity drops out and Riz has to take over again. Yeah, we'll see, right? It's pretty good today. It's not windy outside like it was last week. So fingers crossed.
Well, you were also at a different location
Oh, of
where
course.
there were people coming to look at your car in the 25 car garage that you've got. But yeah, this.
That's right. So I'm in a more stable connection today, hopefully. Speaking of my car, yes, I have dropped the price because I thought it's not fair to charge something higher than what you can get as a new inventory vehicle in New South Wales. So I thought I got to play a good game, and so it's lower than a brand new inventory Tesla Model 3. So if you're in Sydney, have a look. That car's still there. Got a few more inquiries too. Oh, no surprises. Okay. Any more news on the Cybertruck? Yes. I thought this week somebody got a text in the US that they were coming, but then it turned out to be false. Again, yeah, you just got to take everything in social media with a grain of salt. We haven't seen any sort of confirmed deliveries yet, have we, Riz?
No, nothing from a confirmed deliveries point of view at this stage. But
Mm,
now they're sort of saying maybe in October,
mhm.
although it was supposed to be Q3. Um, so hoping that there is more information that gets released, but I think Tesla's getting very close to launching it. There was more rumors around, customers getting calls about it, and it will happen soon. But they reckon that the Cybertruck event will happen sooner than the Model 3 Highland orders opening in the US. But who knows? It's all we got to take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I like seeing photos like this. Like this is a real world photo, not like the glossy stuff that you see on promos. Like this is a real world, shot of it, kind of off road, and it's dirty and it's filthy, and yeah, and look at that flag. That that's almost either a New Zealand or an Australian flag, right?
Yeah, that could have been at the New Zealand
Yeah, just
testing
noticed.
ground.
I'm sure it's Kiwi. I don't see the big one down here, so interesting. There you go.
So
Um,
this Cybertruck's been all around the world then.
that's right. It really has. Um, yeah, cool. So there you go, video of that testing off road. Yeah, so we shall see. We'll keep you guys informed anyway. James is saying credit card tech is built into many existing chargers. We know that, but cost to operate is very expensive. There you go. But convenient though. If we've got operators, starting to ramp that up for us, that'd be much better than sort of fishing an app out every time. Let's see. Yep, Jay says I need Starlink. Well, yeah, it's usually pretty reliable, except when it's windy. So, Gaffer saying Greg Wilson here in the Wollongong BP charging station has been up for a bit. Ample has had coming soon for its charges on plug shift for ages. Still nothing. And Greg, we did touch on Powerwall 3 on our Thursday stream. So yes, it's good to see that is out already. All right, let's stick with Tesla just for the moment. And this is a story on
Oh, so it's happened. Well, I guess yes. So we'll take over. Tesla Semi. It seems like they've been doing this independent test in the US that allows, I guess, heavy fleet operators to go out there and try and give their vehicles to this independent testing company to see what they're really like while they're delivering this freight and these goods around the US. It runs over, I think, over 10 days, and they've got multiple vehicles that are running around. And Tesla Semi this year, thanks to PepsiCo, was allowed to take a couple of them out on the road. And I think they've got 3 Tesla semis that they're doing the range tests on and efficiency tests. And it's probably the first time we get to see how quickly the Tesla semi product charges. So, they run it down to 5%. And then from there, they take it back up to 80, 90%, just doing the normal routes that as part of the test conditions. So it's real life stuff that we haven't had a chance to see so far, and I think the legend's back.
Sorry, everyone. Someone is running a whippersnipper out there. That is how flaky the internet is around here. But I'm back. Sorry.
He's
And
back.
yes, Gaffer, you're right. Or maybe I do need Starlink. It's always Saturday morning. Anyway, I'm back. Sorry, Riz. Thank you for covering for me.
That's all right. We're just touching on the Tesla semi story and some of the results being released out of that independent testing that's being done in a challenge they call Run On Less. And it's all to do with vehicle efficiency. They're testing charging, discharging, how far of a distance is each vehicle covering. And so far, what's coming out, Tesla semis are really blowing everything else out of the water and showcasing what the future looks like with these vehicles. It's amazing what Tesla's achieved.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And we've seen many times how much range these cars can get, or these vehicles can get, even with a full payload up a hill. So no, it's good. Hopefully, we'll see more of these come out. Is it just the PepsiCo and I think Frito-Lay at the moment, the two big customers?
There's a couple of them there at the moment. We'll just have a quick look while I'm here. One
Mm,
sec, it will load. So there is, yeah, Frito-Lay, OK Produce, Penske, PepsiCo, Performance Team, Schneider, UPS, US Foods, and Watt EV. Um, and I'll just quickly share this, and maybe we can share this with the audience. Um, and there's this one truck number 3 that they're running, and every day it does quite a bit in terms of the distance. And it's really cool, like how transparent the charging and discharging curves are, and what the vehicle's doing during the day. So yeah, really good to see so much transparent data. What we don't know yet is what sort of actually we do know now with that article, 80,000 pounds of load. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's impressive. Yeah, and this is like a real world scenario with a real world customer too. So yeah, not just sort of Tesla's internal testing, which is good. Impressive. I mean, at a guess, Riz, when is this going to come to Australia? We need this like yesterday.
Uh, Look, I think the heavy industry or the demand from it is working, and we've all been driving behind trucks, and it says without trucks, Australia stops. So, if we were an ideal country, and hopefully if these subsidies are moving, being phased out in Victoria, New South Wales, and other states, then, at least the state governments can encourage more of their business and trucking fleets to think about moving to electric trucks, because they make so much more of a difference.
Mm. Speaking of heavy vehicles, I actually passed a battery powered or electric school bus yesterday on the road, and I was super impressed and super encouraged that, yeah, I mean, obviously, we can't have fumes around children. It's just not good. But having electric buses around kids, like, it just makes sense to me. Good for everyone, good for the environment, good for the community, good for kids. So I like it. Yes, sorry everyone about that little intermission there. No, I didn't sell my car in that time, unfortunately. And yes, you were right, Gaffer. Yes, it's Saturday morning, isn't it? And thanks, Riz, again for covering for me during that short break.
No worries.
Yes, Simon says I'm not pedaling hard enough. And yes, Tom won't let you back next week, Gaffer. No, that's not true. I'll always let you back. I win, I win. Yeah, thoughts on Australia going down the hydrogen path versus electric for semis? Maybe range is not enough for Australia. Oh, there's that old myth. Mm,
Yeah, I think it's testing like this that is highlighting. Like, they're not doing, like, they're not running it around the block. Like, they're doing real tests with
correct.
500 plus miles of running, which is 800 kilometers. And yes, in some applications, we're not there yet. But if this is what they can do with adequate charging infrastructure, federal government and national heavy transport sector has a lot of work to do to get these high speed, super fast chargers along the major highway corridors and truck stops.
Mm.
So it'll be interesting to see. I hope soon.
Apparently, they're too wide for ADRs as well, so semis.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll see. Question from Dave: what are your thoughts on the EU considering considering imposing anti-dumping duties on electric cars imported from China? Will that mean more Chinese EV brands for us? Interesting.
Ooh, possibly. I think the Chinese EV brands are struggling in China at the moment. I saw another news story that some cities are providing more subsidies to purchase an electric or new energy vehicle there. So the demand over there is, a bit up and down in the world's biggest car and EV market. So they're finding ways to export. And if Europe is going to put these, let's say, these tariffs and walls for them to stop EV makers from entering, then yeah, potentially. But I guess Australian market itself is quite small compared to how big the European market is. So brands like BYD are already considering making plants in Hungary and Germany and others. And there was also a rumor that they bought a plant of Ford in Germany.
Mm.
So I think they'll end up making the cars there very quickly. It's just I don't think they can put these walls up for too long. They'll always find a way to get to enter those markets.
That's right. I was just going to say, Riz, good point. Yeah, they'll probably find like factories and plants locally, and that's a good thing for us too. If we have a plant here in Australia, then that'll create jobs and hopefully appease the local community too. That Chinese aren't just selling their cars here without any sort of input to the local economy. So, yep, good to see. Um, Greg's got a comment. Heavy industry comes down to dollars. They will switch as soon as they get stock. The dollar savings are so big, but it seems we are probably 10 to 15 years off. Do Kenworth, Mac, etc. have EVs planned? Don't know.
Kenworth and Mac, I haven't heard too much. I know Scania is doing quite a lot. Volvo's in this space. I guess if Penske, I think is a big truck maker in the US. If Penske's in this run for less challenge, then I assume they have some skin in the game. But yeah, mainly it's the European guys, Daimler, Mercedes, and the rest that are doing a lot more in this space at this stage. But hopefully, Kenworth and Mac and others can get the message as well, and we can have some more heavy haulage stuff. Interestingly enough, they do manufacture Kenworths and Macs in Australia at the moment. There's a Brisbane manufacturing plant, and Volvo also manufactures trucks in Australia, or assembles them anyway in Brisbane. So the trucking industry is here. We just need to help them transition towards electrified solutions while making them here and keeping Australian jobs.
Yep, good point. And more buses too, please. As a commuter, more buses. Benefit of EV semis is that long distance drivers can charge when they take a mandated break, unlike ICE where they must rest. I mean, they have to rest anyway, right? So you might as well charge the vehicle at the same time. And if you've got Ampol and BP creating nice new, charging hubs with trucker lounge, which they have anyway for ICE trucks, yeah, makes sense to me. They got to stop anyway, right? For those of you who've just joined us, I will be attending the Melbourne EV show later next week, I should say, on a Friday. So sort of 9 to lunchtime. Riz and I will be there, so come and say hello. As a guest of Hankook Tires, so come and check us out, or come and say hello. And yeah, I think JD's saying if you're an IACV member in Victoria, there is a discount for the EV show Melbourne through their website. Just got my ticket. Good, excellent. All right, let's move on to this story, Riz. NIO, which is another Chinese EV brand, surpasses 1,800 swap stations in China.
Yeah, so we spoke earlier about the 50,000th supercharger being rolled out. I guess NIO is continuing with their battery swap technology and building these stations out. It seems to be expanding, obviously, in China, but also in Europe as well. They've got a couple now as they're launching those markets. I guess they've done millions of battery swaps, and this technology works as well. So there's solutions for all different types of problems. But as battery technology improves, I guess the competitive advantage that battery swap has, while incorporating the complexity of making the system work and station availability, people may just choose to charge at home or charge at public charging stations if they can charge quick enough, which the new batteries allow you to do. So good to see both technologies in the works.
Yes, that's right. I mean, we saw was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday with Rahul. I don't forgot which brand it was, but they showed us like close to 400 kilowatts of charging speed. So we got like 10 to 80% in the time the video was running, like 3 minutes, which is absolutely incredible. So if you've got quick charging speeds like that one day, do we really need battery swap technology anymore in the future? So, but then again, if the majority is still slower than that 10-minute mark, then this kind of thing could be an option where you just swap and go in like 5 to 10 minutes and then be on your way. So yeah, whether we ever see this in Australia, I don't know. I guess it probably requires quite a bit of infrastructure to be built for this to happen, right?
It does, but one interesting part of what they're doing in Europe, and I'm sure they do this in China as well, while these batteries are at that station and not being used, they use sort of like little virtual power plants to feed electricity back into the grid if it needs it, or charge off solar or those type of things. So I guess any storage is good storage. Whether we'll get the vehicles that people will end up buying, then you never know. But they've got an opportunity before they launch to set up some little virtual power plants around the place and have these as battery storage hubs. But I guess time will tell. Let's see how the European launch goes.
Yeah, and I mean, we know Tesla flirted with this idea, way back in the day. They had the battery swap tech, they had the charging automatic snake that popped into your car. So clearly they've thought of this before, and they've realized the old plug and go is still the best way to get drivers into EVs. So yeah, interesting. We'll see whether Neo continues with this into the future. Simon saying it was Janus, wasn't it? Janus electric battery with the quick charge. Right. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate that. Oh no, sorry. Janus electric truck battery swapping model has some potential for Australia if it can get some momentum. Sorry, that's for the battery swap. And Tazzie's saying, I heard in the EU, if you own the battery rather than leasing it, they won't let you battery swap. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. That's good. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. Riz, what else can we chat about this morning? Let's see.
I think we can maybe touch on Project Highland, and I'm trying to find that link that I did come across, but it seems that there is a lot more activity in that space. Oh yeah, here we go. There's a lot more activity in that space at the moment, with Tesla Shanghai building quite a few Highland vehicles, which I think is good. They'll be heading to Europe to begin with, and I think from there's plans for Australia as well. So hopefully in the very near future we will see some in our showrooms. I did put my runners on this week and ended up in Mulgrave to have a look, but the Tesla team, they were very tight-lipped about it and didn't really know. So yeah, there's a lot being built, so let's see how far ours are in our showrooms.
That's right. So yeah, you can't get a new Model 3 until Jan to March 2024. So
Yeah.
it's the longest wait time in sort of recent history, apart from the ones that are already coming to the country. So yeah, it's good to see Shanghai, which I think probably arguably is the most efficient gigafactory, producing more Highlands ready to be shipped to us. And luckily, Australia is one of the first markets to receive these new models. So looking forward to bringing that to you guys in a video coming soon, hopefully. But yeah, good. And obviously, majority are still white, aren't they? In this shot here,
Yeah.
this quick sample size. Yeah. Joni's saying, hi, everyone. Just wanted to say today marks 1 year since I got our Model Y. Congratulations and best decision ever. Excellent. Tassie's got a question. What about LDV bringing in their van and truck ute to Australia? A couple of stories in the Driven this week. Yes, there was a new ute update, wasn't there?
Yeah, so there's talks of this new, more lifestyle-like ute they were talking about. It's a bit hard to tell because I guess so far it's been nearly a year since they launched their ET60 ute into the market, and they are very rare to see on the road. But if this is the path they're going down, then hopefully we'll get to see a bit more of this.
Yes, so here it is, Car Expert article. Next generation LDV ute locked in for Australia. That's what it looks like. It looks good. Hopefully, let's see, any specs here? So we've got the ET60 EV currently. And apparently LDV has learned lessons from that. It was expensive, wasn't it, initially, from memory?
Yeah, it was like nearly $100,000. I mean, like that. I don't know that interior shot. Like
Rendered?
well, rendered, but also it's like to a certain degree they're trying to be too futuristic, sort of like a Cybertruck themed. Take the big screen out, but if you, it's too different is not always such a good thing.
I agree. Yes, some people just want that traditional look, right? But apparently, according to this, I mean, this is all still concept. Maxus GCST concept. GST, I'm not sure that will fly here. 746 kilowatts of power. That's huge. Quad motor. Jeez. Quad motor all-wheel drive powertrain. 11 kilowatt V2L. It's good for on-site kind of work. Solid state battery, again, all concept, of course.
Oh,
1,000 kilometers of range. So big claims here.
it's and that's the thing. It doesn't do too much justice of. So what's it gonna have? Like the Hummer EV, 200 kilowatt hours of battery as well. Like, which means the more battery you put in, the more expensive it's going to be. No one's gonna spend 200 grand on a Ute.
No, no, especially if it's going to be for a work vehicle, right? It's going to be quite economical. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a done deal, but it's still very much concept at this stage. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, it's. I think we'll know a lot more about the specs of the Cybertruck very soon. And
Mm,
there were a few rumors this week that there's potentially a 120 kilowatt hour battery pack.
mm,
But we'll find out very soon, and that will sort of further showcase the lead I guess Tesla has, and it will be interesting to get the efficiency figures
mm.
like they're doing with the Tesla semis on the Cybertruck, because this looks like it's basically a brick wall, moving through air, which is not very good for efficiency. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see for the Cybertruck. That's going to be a pivotal point.
Yep. Speaking of Utes charging at Tesla superchargers, here is Rahul posting a LDV Ute, which again they're quite rare anyway. Haven't seen many of these. Here's one charging at how do I pronounce this?
Moe,
Moe.
Moe.
Okay, so yeah, using a V3 plug, looks like only one plug. There you go. Let's blow it up. There we go. So I forgot where the charge port is on this side. Must be on the left, surely. I can't
Yeah.
see the cable going this way. Yeah. Okay. I'm surprised it actually reached, to be honest. I thought the plug was further towards the cabin. So, hmm. Yeah, I might see this more often, right? We know that half the plugs or half the stalls in Australia can now charge non-Tesla EVs. It would be very interesting come middle of the school holidays, for example, or during public holidays.
Well, it's good timing, isn't it? So they've just announced this prior to school holidays sort of starting around the country, and the warmer weather means more people can get out. So good timing for Tesla. And what we learned last year um, before Christmas were a lot of broken chargers, and ChargeFox and others did nothing to fix them. Where
Mm.
this year, just before the holidays and people hitting the road and warmer weather, Tesla's opened it up. So they're obviously listening a lot closer than some of the other charging operators.
Yep. Yeah, like for example, I'm going to be taking a long-range single-motor Polestar 2, courtesy of Polestar, from Sydney to Melbourne in the next school holidays. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be grateful that there'll be at least some of the superchargers will be available to use as a backup. Certainly won't be my first option because they're more expensive than non-Tesla EVs, but having this as a backup option is fantastic. It's quite a luxury these days. All right, so yeah, Riz, if there's nothing else to chat about, shall we wrap up the show maybe?
We should. And just one last comment from Jerry Can. That's really interesting. I have to check that video out. If it's going to the
Yes,
UK, then the seagull's definitely flying over here as well.
that's right. Let's read this out. So Jerry cancel the Dolphin versus VW video on electrifying from UK, where they said Seagull was coming to, which is the BYD Seagull, which is coming to the UK in early 2024. Now that's the Seagull's a very small vehicle, much smaller than the
Yes.
Dolphin. Mm. More like was it the Kia Picanto?
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of size. Yep. Yeah, so I mean, there is a market for those really small cars, and hopefully affordable as well. So it would have to be at least, surely sub 30 for that kind of
Yeah.
vehicle, sub 30 Aussie. Yeah. And not for us to saying the two best-selling vehicles in Australia are Utes. I can't believe no one has exploited the opportunity to have an EV Ute. Yeah, there's a couple in China, right? The Geely one, the Radar. There's a BYD Ute as well. So hopefully we'll see them. Cool. All right. Actually, Alan's saying, look at the cord through the charger.
Yeah,
Let's
I
have a look.
think it's on the other side. As in it's heading towards Raoul's car.
Yep, on the left. Yep. Looks pretty taut though, doesn't it? I think that's the point. It's very tight. Yeah, so Sensei's asking likely drive-away price of BYD Seal in New South Wales. Again, we discussed that earlier. I think given the New South Wales EV incentives are dropping in the 1st of January, I think they're probably going to wait a little bit longer to see what happens with the pricing for the other brands. I'm just guessing. But on the night, I remember them saying October is when they're going to launch the seal price. And Riz and I are saying probably performance seal will be the one that will drop first. So stay tuned. We'll keep you guys informed. Cool. And Nick saying thanks for the show, gents. And thank you indeed, everyone, for joining us on this Saturday morning with our my flaky internet connection, what we got there in the end. We'll have to find some other solution for next week. But thank you so much. Again, I will be at the Melbourne EV show on Friday. Come and say hello to me and Riz. And again, we'll be driving the Polestar 2 next couple of weeks during the school holidays in New South Wales from Sydney to Melbourne, just to try and get to 2 charging stops. That's kind of ideal. Just do some planning around that. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Riz, thank you again, as always.
Awesome, Tom. Good to be on. And appreciate everyone's sort of comments, questions. Keep that coming. Keep spreading the good words on EVs while the sun is shining in most parts of Australia today.
That's right. It's certainly shining today, 30 plus degrees Celsius. So keep warm, keep cool, everyone in Sydney, and enjoy the warm weather, Riz, and everyone else in Victoria. And again, thank you to our sponsors for tonight's show. And that's the Thursday one. This is the Saturday one. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Wallbox. Thanks to Carloop. We shall see you all next week. Thank you, Riz. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night or good morning. See you around.